Hi, I'm Steve Good and welcome to my scroll saw workshop. Came out in the workshop tonight and going to put together a small Christmas project here. In this case we're going to build an open-faced or an open-top box, and it's going to have a Christmas theme. I'm going to have Santa Claus and his reindeer on the front and back, and on the end pieces we'll have a Christmas tree and some presents and some snowflakes. Should be a pretty easy project to build. Going to talk about a couple of intermediate level type techniques here. One is we're going to do stack cutting. In other words, we're going to cut the top or the front and the back pieces at the same time, and we'll do the same with the end pieces, and that'll really speed things up. So I'm going to zoom in on this and give you a look at it, and then we'll take a look at the supplies we're going to need. Here's a zoomed in view of this little Christmas box we're going to build. You can see Santa and his reindeer on the front, and they'll also be on the back of the box. And on each end we're going to have a Christmas tree and some snowflakes. The interior of the box will be lined with walnut to make sure that our cutouts stand out here real nice. Okay, let's take a look at our materials. In front of me I have the supplies we're going to need to put together this little Christmas box tonight. And what you're going to need, of course, are the plans that you can download from my blog at www.scrollsawworkshop.blogspot.com. You're also going to need the wood of your choice. Now you could use Baltic birch ply for this, and if you do, you'll need some 1/4 inch and some 1/8 inch ply. In this case I'm going to use hardwood. I'm going to use maple for the outside and the bottom of the box, and for the interior walls I'm going to use some walnut. Okay, as always, you're going to need the clear box tape. Now in this case you could probably get away without it because it's going to be so thin, but I am going to be doing some stack cutting here, so I'm going to use it. You're going to need some spray adhesive to apply the pattern to the wood, and in this case I'm going to use some clear lacquer to finish the project out. Okay, with that I'm going to go ahead and apply all the patterns to the wood, and then we'll head to the drill press and do some interior holes. I've taken my scissors and I've cut all the pattern pieces out roughly to size, and I'm going to go ahead and use the spray adhesive to apply all the patterns to their piece of wood. If you've been with me here very much on the Scroll Saw Workshop, you'll know that I always use the spray adhesive. It's just one of a few ways to apply patterns, but it's the way I find the easiest. I just use a temporary spray adhesive. In this case it's the Duro brand, but any brand will work fine. So I go ahead and apply the patterns, and we'll just move on to the rest of the patterns, and once I get them all applied to the wood I'll meet you over at the drill press. One more step that I wanted to show you before we move to the drill press is, in this case we've got two end pieces of the box, and we're going to have two or a front and a back to the box. So to make this project go quicker I'm going to stack cut. Now stack cutting on the scroll saw, it's just simply cutting two or more pieces at the same time, and you do it by applying the pattern to the top piece and then sticking the rest of the pieces of wood behind that. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to use box tape to hold it together, but also just to make it a little easier, you can take some very fine brad nails, get your wood lined up pretty good here, and go ahead and just drive the nail completely through the first piece in the waist area, just enough that it's protruding through into the second piece without coming out the bottom. You can go ahead and drive it all the way through and just pin it over, but I think it's easier just to stop a little bit before you get there. And I'll go ahead and drive one more nail up here at the top. Now when I take this over to the scroll saw and cut out the top piece, I'm going to get two pieces for the price of one. I've got the pieces that are going to require entry holes over here at the drill press. I've got a 1/16 inch drill bit inserted into the press, and I'm going to go ahead and drill all the entry holes. I've got all the entry holes drilled in the pieces we're going to bring over here to the scroll saw. And first I just want to show you that this walnut that we're going to use for the interior, I went ahead and cut all these pieces to size at the table saw, so that we really have no scroll sawing to do on these particular pieces, so you can set those aside for the construction. I'm going to go ahead and start out with the two end pieces for our box here. And you can see that I've got the two pieces nailed together. So we're going to do the stack cutting here. Got the entry holes drilled, and I've got my nails in here to hold the pieces together. I did go ahead and cover the pattern with box tape just to make it a little easier to cut. Okay, with that we'll go ahead and start our first cut. Just find your first entry hole that you want to start at. This particular project I'm using a number 5 scroll reverse, and again I buy all of my blades from Mike over at Mike's Workshop, and you can go to my blog and look for a link to his site. Okay, before I start on this last interior cut, I want to talk about this cut. This is the slot that the tab from the bottom will go into, so you don't want to oversize this cut. Just cut to the inside of the line, and then if the fit's not good when you get done, you may have to go back in and file it down just a little bit. But you do want this to be a little bit of a snug fit, so go ahead and cut just inside the line. Here's the last cut we have on our two end pieces, so we can go ahead and take the surrounding area apart, and you can see we've got two identical pieces that we'll be able to put together. Now hopefully we'll not have to do a whole lot of sanding to get these pieces to fit in the slots, and it looks like we're pretty close, so I think we'll be okay. So again, make these slots a little bit tight, and that you can always go back and take a little more wood off if you have to. Okay, I'm going to set these aside, work on the front and back, and then we'll go over to the assembly table and start putting this together. I'm over here at the workbench, and I've gone ahead and dry fit all the pieces. And once I got the front and the back and the two sides on there, I cut the interior walls to fit, to make sure I had a good fit there. So you'll be able to see that the basic box construction is just slot and tab type construction. Basically it's just going to pull apart right out of the slots and the tabs, put it together. So now what I'm going to do is take it back apart, go ahead and do what finish sanding I need to do to it. I'll go ahead and glue it up, let it dry, and then we'll come back and put a little finish on it. Okay, I've got our little Christmas box all glued up now and gave the glue some time to dry. And I'm going to go ahead and put a little oil finish on it like I do with most of my scroll saw projects. We'll give that a little time to dry, and then we'll go over it with a coat of some clear lacquer, spray lacquer, and we'll be finished. So if you've been here with me before in the Scroll Saw Workshop, you know that I use a dipping tub filled with lemon oil to do the initial finishing of all my scroll saw projects. And the reason I do that is because of what you can see here right now, and that is how quick it is. I just simply dip the project. It really brings out the grain of the wood, and it's very quick. So I'll zoom in on this and let you see it as we're letting it sit here and drip dry. Okay, here's our finished Christmas box. In this case, I'm going to use mine to put candy in and set on my desk. You can see on the front we've got the Santa Claus, and on the end the reindeer and the presents and the snowflakes. So I hope you've enjoyed this project, and if you would like to build this project yourself, you can find the plans at www.scrollsawworkshop.blogspot.com. I'm Steve Good, and we'll see you in the next video here at the Scroll Saw Workshop.